courthouse by asking me to speak here tonight, because I'm going to tell you about Lee and two traits I've observed personally. He's an excellent burglar, and he's an unselfish hero. Let's take the burglar first. I don't play golf, so I write novels. When I turned 60, I said I'm going to start writing novels and thrillers, you know, because on my new novel, I needed some expert advice, so I went out to the head of Triple Canopy, Delta Force legend, Lee Van Arsdale, and I said, I want to break into the U.S. District Courthouse in D.C. unnoticed and exfil, get out without being noticed. And I said, I'm an old airborne ranger, and I figured I'd, you know, make a halo jump in, you know, a parachute jump into the top of the thing. And Lee said, if you buy me lunch, and this is where the burglar instinct comes in, if you buy me lunch, I'll tell you how to get in and out, and no one will see you. Your idea of a parachute jump in a restricted space around the White House in Washington, D.C. is a non-starter. And so I said, okay, let's test the U.S. Marshals. By the way, I'm on the Court of Appeals, so this is a different courthouse than what I normally function in, the U.S. District Court, in my novel to be written. So in my Tahoe with Ranger stickers on it, we slowly circle the U.S. Federal Courthouse in D.C. And I have a pair of binoculars, which every now and then we stop to look, and we see where the hanging overhead cameras are, and I'm marking down, and we slowly do a 200 or two complete circles around it in the car. Then the same people park within distance of the cameras. We park our car and we slowly walk around, pointing out where the cameras are. And no, by the way, the U.S. Marshals, they must be, I don't know, whatever. No one came out to challenge us. And I'm making notes. And we're looking at cameras, and then Lee finds a blind spot where there's a little corner where the camera angle, you you can't see it. And then he reaches up and he gets toe holes and hand holes in the bricks, and he figures it out, and he starts to climb a little bit, and he says, "We can do this." And I said, "Okay." I said, "That gets us to the roof." And I said, "How do we get into the courtroom?" And this is a night penetration of a U.S. federal courthouse with shoot-to-kill guards, so we go in. Of course, I'm carrying a knife.
Well, that's good.
And so I've just flashed my fellow judge credentials. I think he had a knife on him too. And then I say, "Hey, Marshal, Judge Sullivan," and then we both, buzzed ourselves, with the alarms ringing off. We went right through, and then we went up to the courthouse, and we saw how we get from the roof down to the courtroom, and then back out to exfil. And anyway, this guy is talented, and no one has hit that tonight. It's a shame that the batter, the last batter up has to hit it. Wayne Downing, a dear friend of mine, the WAD, and he was the technical advisor. Lee was the technical advisor for Black Hawk Down, and so he made sure that. On a couple of the helmet bands, you saw WAD, the WAD. So even though the WAD has gone to heaven, his spirit lives on in the movie. And Wayne Downey says, they're good rangers, but the best rangers are good burglars too. And so that's one thing. Now I'll talk about Sergeant Major. You hit a good point, but there's something that I was told in my Ranger network that as an unselfish point about this man here. As you know, 2 men posthumously got the Medal of Honor for the actions on the objective in what was called the Night of the Rangers. Of course, Delta was the core of the Rangers. We were there working with Delta Force. Garrison put in 3 men for the Congressional Medal of Honor. Shugart, Gordon, and Van Arsdale. And Van Arsdale went to the general, and this is according to my Ranger network, and he said, "Sir, please withdraw my name from the submission for the Medal of Honor. We stand a better chance of getting Gordon and Shugart in if I'm not there. 3 men is too many. 2 men maybe we can get." And that's the kind of unselfish hero that really makes West Point great. If 1 out of every 5,000 graduates, we produce 1 Van Arsdale like that, an unselfish hero, then West Point has earned its place as the premier college in America for not just leadership but everything. And anyway, all right, does anybody else have any stories on the dark side of Van Arsdale? Yes, Rick Menicosi, I think that concludes this. It's over to you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Step out here to the side.
Thank you all for your wonderful comments. That was outstanding. So hopefully you enjoyed those words. I'd like to read a letter. We received several letters that were submitted to Colonel Van Arsdale, but one stood out to me that I'd like to read, and then I'd like to bring Colonel Van Arsdale and Mary Lee to the podium to unveil the plaque. I could pontificate on Lee Van Arsdale's character, values, and accomplishments using every positive adjective in the language of the world. Every positive statement would be true. However,